Hi, this is Airsoft Foxhole with my first video, and I want to let you know this is a shared channel, so the reviews for airsoft guns will be from different people. And today in this video I want to show you basic battle modifications and a review for the Beretta handgun, which is overall a pretty good gun. If you don't have a handgun and you're a mid-level airsoft person, then this is definitely the gun for you. The first thing that I normally do when I make minor modifications to make it easier to use is I take out the clip, and in pretty much every gun I've ever owned there is a weight inside each clip. So what you want to do is you want to get a screwdriver and just unscrew it. Most clips are pretty simple to modify, so you can this one only has one screw, so it's pretty easy and fast to do. The screw on this is a little bit stripped, and I don't know if it wasn't like that, or it was like that when I got it, and I got this new, so I don't know if it was just this one that had a strip screw in it. But if other ones are like that, that might be a problem to some people. But you see, it doesn't come completely apart, so you can just shake that out. And then you've got the lever in the magazine, which makes it really good for reloading. And you just pop that back in place like that, make sure it still clicks in and out, and then you put the screw back in, which which doing this on pretty much any airsoft gun reduces the weight by a lot. And some people like their guns heavy, but I personally, they weigh me down because I carry 3, 5, 4 guns into a fight sometimes. So you just can make it a lot easier to carry it and run around with when you take these weights out. The magazine capacity, I believe it's 14. I just haven't counted it out recently. So it's got a basic handgun magazine, and when you pull down the main spring, it locks down at the bottom with a push on the other side. So you can just you don't need a speed loader for this. You can push this lever all the way to the bottom till it locks, push this back, and just pour them into the top, which makes reloading in battle so much easier. And anyway, there are 2 different weights besides this one that I found, and to get those out you're going to need a flathead screwdriver, which you take off these 2 side plates, which are pretty easy to get off. See, just unscrew these. I like flathead screws so much more, so faster, and the flathead screws don't get stripped really easy. And you have to take the magazine out to do this. You just press that and it pops right out. And there is one on the other side, so I'll just get that real quick after I put this plate back in. Which is pretty fast. See, just like that. You got one plate back on, and you move on to the next. Unscrew that. Take the handle plate off. And this one's a little bit tougher because I had to look for the other one yesterday, make sure I had everything prepared. And, might have to take a screwdriver to get more leverage. Yep, there we go. So much easier. So overall, you're taking out these two flat weights in the handle and this weight right here in the magazine, and if you want to return the gun, you may leave those someplace safe. I have lost some from other guns, so I can't return those, but they are useful if you keep them in a safe place. You just put this handle plate back on real quick. And there you go. It feels so much lighter now, but I do know there are still some more weights up in the front area of the gun, but I prefer not to take those out because there's not really a importance for me, but I just don't take those out. The magazine, you just, oh, that screw's not in completely. There. So, to the review part, you've got the basic parts of the gun. You've got the front sight up there, which is kind of wide, but since it's a handgun, that really doesn't bother me, but for some people it might be an issue. And then the back sight, it just lines up really, really good, as you can somewhat see right there. It's got the safety right up there, so when you're holding it, you can easily click it back and forth, unless you use this hand, which makes it difficult. And you've got the hammer back there, which is actually a useful part. So I've seen some reviews where people basically break the top of it off to get to the insides, and I think that is only on the older models, but on this one this was built really good. You push this down and then up, and the top just comes completely off. There's the hammer, which is right on there. And there are easy ways to modify this by taking that with a screwdriver and pulling it out and slightly stretching the spring. But since I really don't want to get to the inside of this, because it's a pretty good gun and I don't want to risk messing it up, I think I could do it, but it's not really worth it because it's got about 315 feet per second, which for a handgun, that's a pretty decent handgun because it is spring. So most spring handguns aren't as good. So overall, I think if you use a handgun in a fight, like I carry around my shotgun, and then I use this basically as my secondary. So it's a really good secondary weapon, and pretty much everyone's gonna need a handgun. So if you're gonna pick one, this is definitely the one for most airsoft people. Overall, it's the best handgun I've ever owned. The other user of this channel will pretty soon be doing a review on the first pistol I used, which isn't as good as the Beretta, but it's pretty good for starting. So that's all, and I hope this was useful to you. Subscribe, and go have fun airsofting.